in having included in government policy the need for cost rental and affordable schemes, the government is acknowledging rightly that even if you are over the social housing income threshold, you still can't afford market rents or market prices. But the delivery of cost rental housing or affordable housing is pitifully slow. In my area, it's virtually non-existent. So there is a cohort of people, working people, who, if they find themselves facing eviction or unable to find accommodation that is affordable, are in a very bad situation, driven into homelessness, sleeping on couches, sleeping in cars, and so on. So I want to ask again, what are you going to do for that cohort of people? You should extend the purchase in situ scheme to those above the social housing income threshold if people are faced with homelessness in that situation. You should extend eligibility for HAP payments. Much as I disagree with the HAP system, it's better than nothing, but people over the social housing income thresholds are not even entitled to rent support in the form of HAP, and therefore are absolutely banjaxed if they're looking to try and find rental accommodation. So do you accept my point? And if you understand that we need that middle tier of affordable housing, and it isn't actually there yet, that other supports need to be provided for that cohort and group, because increasingly it is working people in that situation who are being driven into or facing homelessness.
Thanks, Deputy, for your questions. I think just starting from the start, in relation to cost rental, I just want to say that I'm a big supporter of cost rental housing, as is the government. Cost rental is a new model of housing that is new to Ireland, but not new to other parts of the world. It was initiated by Minister Murphy in the last government and is being realised by Minister O'Brien in this one, with projects in places like Emmett Road, Shangana Castle, Cork, North County Dublin, and we really need to scale it up as much as we can. And I think potentially Project Tussie is a way that we can do that. There are a very large number of unactivated planning permissions for apartments and high-density developments in Dublin and Cork and elsewhere, and I'd like to see us getting them going and potentially getting them going as cost rental housing, and making sure that it's available to more and more people. It's going to take years and decades to scale up to the level of cost rental housing that we'd like, but I do think it is the right policy. In the meantime, I agree with the Deputy said in relation to the purchase in situ programme. Minister O'Brien tells me we are doing that. If a landlord sells up and the tenant is a social housing tenant, that councils can go in and buy that property.
Taoiseach, that's what I'm asking specifically. If you're over the threshold,
if you want to send me a note on it, there are different thresholds, as you know, and I don't profess to knowing exactly the ins and outs of the scheme, but I do know that it is something that is done, something we support. You'd have to have some sort of thresholds, I imagine, but if you want to set out in detail or in writing whether we get rid of the thresholds altogether or raise them, we can certainly examine that.